only once your consciousness expands further than can be seen by the eye that one realizes the insignificance that is a singular existence. We're not great because we're individuals. We're special because we're different from the whole of our populace, but different in a minute or mundane way. All of us victims and recipients to the ordeals and blessings that we call life. All led astray from the standard by unpredicted existence.
Why should we worry about others?
We should worry about others because I feel like in our society there's like a lack of empathy towards others, and I feel like people as a whole should just give more energy towards worrying and caring about like if other people are okay. So like there's less of like there's less people being selfish and like not caring about others, because I feel like that would just make for a better society.
Why should we worry about others?
I think we should worry about others because it's the inherent right thing to do, and not everybody else has the capacity to worry about themselves.
And who dictates what is inherently right?
I think at some ground level, there are things that are inherently right for everybody, but then at another level, it's decided upon by that person. But there's always going to be disagreements about what is right for someone and what is right for someone else.
Because others matter.
Why do they matter?
Because we're all humans and we're in this together.
I love that answer.
I think we should worry about other people because what you give is what you get in return. So if you want somebody to care about you, then you got to care about others.
Our existence, however, should be taken with a grain of salt. For it is only the fool who can live negligent of all the movement around him. Sometimes steps must be taken outside of ourselves in order to see the value. And from what I've seen so far is that there is none. It's like we're both infinite and nothing all in the same second. And I think that it's our focus and perspective that generate all the difference. We too often focus on the small, preoccupied with a single leaf, you'll miss the tree. And preoccupied with a single tree, you'll miss the forest.
Why do we worry about things outside of our control?
Well, like, there's two ways you can look about it, like things outside your control, as in like stuff to do with other people, or like stuff that directly affects you that you just can't control. So like when it comes to like other people, some people that are close to you, you somewhat like feel for them more than others, and you can feel their emotions when they're in like certain situations. So like that's like an instance where like you're just over empathetic for someone, so like you feel like you're just worried about them and you can't control the situation. And then when it comes to yourself, it's like just like the odds of like stuff happening toward and then when it comes to stuff that like happens directly to yourself that's out of your control, it's just like you just feel like, damn, why is this stuff happening to me? Like life is unfair, and you can't really do anything about it, but like it's the fact like it directly affects you, and you feel like you just not in control of like your own life and stuff that happens in your life. So that's just like you just feel like you can't do anything about it. So like that's why people will worry about it, because it's directly affecting you, but you can't stop it if it's negative.
Okay. And why do we worry about things outside of our control?
Personally, I think we worry about things outside of our control because we want things to go so right and how we plan them. So that level of worry is just us trying to exercise control over something we don't have control over.
It's human nature. You don't know that it's outside of your control until it's outside of your control. So you want to stay in control.
And why do you want to stay in control?
It's human nature.
But why?
I don't know.
That's beautiful.
Wait, like what?
Like things outside our control, stuff we can't really change.
Well, like what people think about us and stuff.
Sure, that's an example of something outside of your control.
Well, using that example, I would say because it affects your image, and right now in this world, there's a lot in your life that gets related to your image, so you need a good one. So things that you can't control that affect you are kind of hindering your progress in society right now. Are you talking about like climate change? Okay,
It's like something that you can't.
that's my answer, because it hinders you.
Last and final question.
I mean, it's just human nature. We always. What was the question? I lost my
Why do we worry about things outside of our control?
Okay, like I said, yeah, it's just human nature. We do that subconsciously. But I don't know. I mean, guess there's not just one specific reason why we do it. If we care, that's probably why we do it.
One can only really worry while hyper-focused. It's those who squint their eyes in search that have obscured vision. The harder one looks for the leaf, the more the forest is lost. And I think time works the same way. More occupied with the second, the sooner the hour slips by. Sometimes you gotta relax the eye to see an unstressed world, because nothing is really inherently good or bad. It's really a decision we make in our minds from all of our previous experiences and such, that we kind of attribute those things to the world around us, and we view it as such. But what I found is that our perspective is a lot more valuable than material. To be able to change your perspective is like to be able to put on a new pair of glasses at which to view the world in an entirely different way.
Why is it difficult to change our perspective?
It's difficult to change our perspectives because, like, sometimes, like, you don't even notice your own biases in, like, certain situations. So, like, one, if you can't even notice it, you can't change it. And then when it comes to, like, stuff that, like, you actively know that you have, like, a perspective on, it's hard to change it because, like, we're young, so, like, that's all you're, like, accustomed to, and, like, it's all that's, like, been preached to you by your family or people you surround yourselves with. So, like, it's just, I would say ignorance, because, like, you don't know what you don't know. So that's why it would be hard to change your perspective.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Last question. Why is it difficult to change our own perspective?
I don't think it's difficult to change your perspective. I think it's an unwillingness that some people have, because it does take a lot of work to change your perspective or unlearn something that you have ingrained in you. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Why is it difficult to change our perspective on the world?
Because you want to be right, and if it's your perspective, then you think that it's right.
Because everyone thinks that they're right. So it's hard to accept that you're wrong about something. So when somebody comes to you with a different perspective and they're telling you that you're wrong, first you have a new enemy right now. They're telling you you're wrong. That goes against your belief that you're right. And then they're presenting you this new idea that isn't your idea. Therefore, you completely shun this new perspective out of your view. So, I mean, everyone should be able to open their perspective, but it just takes practice probably.
I think it goes with experience. If we've experienced something, or if we've seen something for so long, then we're prone to just believe it. It's hard to change. When it's what's the word? Like when something
Engraved.
Yeah, in your mind. Yeah, that's it.
But the reality of it is, it's very difficult to change our perspectives just out of a whim. And I feel like oftentimes we kind of get motivated and we kind of adopt this, like a new perspective per se, but only like for a day, because the thing with like working on changing your perspective is it takes time, and often we once we view something that doesn't really correlate with our new perspective, we leave it behind. And it's not necessarily our faults, because it's like everything in our past is engraved into our craniums, and we can't do nothing about it. In all matters of view, we got to take the time to prepare for the change that's about to unfold in front of our eyes. So what I'm trying to say is, we got to give ourselves some time to grow, time to change. We can't really expect it right off the rip. Way to be profound.